And perfect. Definitely still holding out hope for Ignite Poison. It's no longer quite as strictly necessary. Oops. Did not mean to be toxic there for a moment. My bad. Just trying to get our statue form going. And I see, so even our Mana Vipers actually do a fairly solid job 1v1 is not a fair assessment. 2v1 against a dragon, which is fairly impressive. And here's where our poison comes into play, able to affect even the Hell Knights here. And I'm just double checking. No distortion. No distortion. Perfect. Should probably get back into stone form here. And in fact, now that everybody's catching up, we can go back into the hallway. Ooh, and would you look at that? We're lining up enemies in a hallway. So that means it's time to bring out ye old Bolt of Magma here. I guess, oh, these buddies are partially resistant to fire, or probably very resistant. Ah, immune. That's one way to say very resistant. To the extreme, even. So, Bolt of Magma, fortunately, deals some unavoidable damage. In fact, can do a check on that. Oh my gosh. This is a control that I very recently learned because I never thought that you could get the description for stuff in spell view. But there is a key you can press. How do you get descriptions of your learned spells? Oh gosh, brain. In order to not make it too painful of you, I'm just going to try and rack my brain for like 30 seconds here. Because it is a new one. Exclamation point like on its own. Because when you're here, you get into this more view, which is nice seeing the power damage. All fantastic information. Absolutely brilliant. But it doesn't give us the spell descriptions. But I did recently read about how to exactly, or do that exact thing. And now I'm totally blanking. Oh well, that's all good. At the end of the day, I do remember that Magma Shot does still deal damage even to things resistant to fire, which makes sense because it is a core of stone, even if it is molten stone. And let's see. Oh, please don't blink behind me. That's not what I'm looking for right now. At least it's the one that was already hitting me with reach, so that's actually not too bad of a trade-off here. I do probably just want to blast you. Let's see. Pretty good odds of paralyzing you. Then we can just blast you. Let's start with the paralysis, take some damage off of our place. Shift M shows your current library of spells. Let's do that then. But these do not show our learned spells. Sorry, Shift M, for whatever reason, even though we do the memorize menu all the time, my brain was like, ah, new thing, cool. But, yeah, no, it's a separate key. It's gonna drive me crazy trying to remember this over the course of the next while. And I do want to go through the freezing vapor. Definitely worth it to kind of reset some aspects of this fight. Perfect. And then, now we can run away. But yeah, it's all good, Railbird. I don't actually need to know. It's just something that I was hoping to be able to share because I never thought that it was a solution here. L. Trying to see my chat thing. That capital I. No, wait. Oh, and then I, and then I can select a letter, and it's just the description because I'm not casting it. That's it. Thank you so much, Railbird. Sorry for the painful attempts to try and explain it to me. Always explain like I'm 5, because I can definitely be pretty dense sometimes on certain occasions. But would you look at that? So capital I which just kept looking like an L or an exclamation point to me. That's why I had to really peer in at my chat screen here just to make sure that I was reading things correctly, because I was not in the first place. But that is exactly what we're looking for. And perfect. Did confirm our suspicions. Portion of its damage bypasses fire resistance. Fortunately, the buddy in front of us now is poison resistant, which is why they're being a bit of a pain in the butt. But let's bring in a friend of our own, with the Mana Viper assisting us in the background here. Can definitely put ourselves into a better spot. Ouch. Has all of the trolls come out of the woodwork here. Don't love that. Well, let's get Mana Viper. Perfect time for me to fail that spell. I think that's a 1% again, isn't it? It is indeed. Thanks, game. Love to see it. So here, let's see. Let's start thinking about solutions and upcoming problems before they hit us. Because everyone is about to be... Actually, not even about to be. The shaman has already mighted and hasted both the other trolls here. We're also in statue form, so we're a lot slower than normal. What's kind of the solution to get out of here in the least number of expended resources is what it comes down to. Because a single blink scroll doesn't quite do it. I think that they all catch up to us by the time we blink here, step to the stairs. We do not have fear scrolls. A summoning scroll probably does it, with some caveats and contingencies based on what actually comes out of it. Alternatively, we have magic potions, because that was our main issue here, was getting into this fight well on the retreat from the previous one. Otherwise, some nice poison fumes would do a lot of good work in taking care of this specific batch of enemies. Alternatively, a teleport potentially saves us, but also potentially throws us into a worse situation. I've definitely been burned by that before. Yeah, Railbird definitely helpfully pointing out that, yeah, the Shaman Troll has LRD, which is absolutely huge, or this buddy does, right? The Earth Mage. Yeah, so that's no good when you're made out of the stuff that it deconstructs, to say the very least. That is definitely what got us into this point as well, and took out our Mana Vipers too, because on top of it, yeah, the AoE takes out our summons, which is interesting to keep in mind here. So we have a lot of blinking scrolls. I think we can afford to use one up here. So hoping to potentially be out of sight even a little bit more. I don't think I beat any of them to the stairs, even though maybe if the mage and the shaman are busy doing stuff. Regardless, let's take one step, two step, just taking it nice and slow here. Perfect. If it's just the one troll, please, sir. I expected a challenge. There we go. And so, probably, yeah, slightly better off going into this fight without statue form, which does make us a little bit squishier, but resistant to the specific brand of attacks that we'll be facing. Dang it. I hate when my shapeshifters turn into something worse. This is what our polymorph is for, though. Let us immediately change you again. Perfect. Much better when they change into a monster that is usually only frightening when they have weapons at their disposal. There we go. Statue form can also come back on to deal with troll. So I immediately do my classic mistake of toxic radiation, followed by immediately trying to bring friends into this world. Not a good combination. Not a good way to make future friends, or keep friends, I guess. But not too bad here. So we are in a slightly better position to continue on here. That Earth Mage is another poignant reminder to not have statue form going just implicitly all the time. There are definitely situations where we want to change our strategy to some degree. I also really want that the Spriggan Berserkers to be in my range of sight as much as possible here. Perfect. And I'm hoping they die before we breach. Oh, I guess we did not. We breached to the Death Yak. Let's see. Who summoned you? Oh, the higher health one, of course. Never should have doubted. Let's poison that son of a gun. No matter what, we're not really able to run away from a berserking buddy here, so I am going to get our statue form back on for the increased defensive capabilities, and here's where I should probably... I've been switching up my tactics slightly earlier. Sucks to be taking this much damage from just a spawn summon. It's not even the real concern here. There we go. And, okay, we're doing okay in terms of health. Not great, but definitely okay. None of these buddies can be hasted, and in the intervening time, we managed to heal back up. So, a whole as well. Definitely a couple of close calls, which is to be expected coming into depths earlier than you otherwise might expect to. Especially when I'm the one piloting here. Ooh, I will tuck myself into a dead end though. Can definitely be a bad idea in many circumstances, but when most of these enemies were totally fine and happy to face one-on-one, definitely comes across as an overall advantage. Nice. Keep it going. I'm going to drop the Atropa darts, even though, right, they're actually slightly more likely to be effective. I'm so often only either training throwing or stealth and not both at the same time. But with both of those skills up in the very high regions of their boundaries, it might actually become slightly more effective even against later game monsters. The Atropa darts, that is. We will see. Making sure that we're staying in statue form to take care of all these stronger buddies. Perfect. Another invisibility potion also has the potential of coming in handy for sure. And I guess Mana Vipers should be modus operandi for most spellcasters. Shocker there, but makes sense. Excuse me, wait, sir? Oh, there you go. Okay, you're still around. Gonna let someone else teleport themselves. It looks like that Spriggan buddy just immediately did so. Oh gosh, you took out my Viper pals a lot quicker than I expected. Yeah, this has potential to get real rough. As I continue to move, potentially stupidly, but also step closer here. I can afford one more step up. You're probably the one that follows me. Let's do it. Perfect. And the Mana Viper actually getting in the way there. It was perfect. Well lasted. Let's see here. Can definitely not take both of you at once. You have potential to just one-shot me. Right out of the gate here. That definitely means it's time for some thinking. Always have to be willing to just put a pause on things and give it some thought before just moving ahead with it, whatever my current plan of action was. Resistance potion technically works. Blinking obviously works. What else? What else? Wands aren't immediately solving this problem unless I can... Nope, 5% chance to paralyze you. Not great odds, that. Dang it, I was really just expecting to fight a Minotaur at the end of this. Should probably have not been quite so hasty. I also haven't been offered a new curse in a while. I guess I'm moving a lot slower now that we're in this dangerous section. So that does make sense in its own right in that regard. Maybe just to extend this, I should take this as an opportunity to take a sip of my drink. Really think about it. Enslavement doesn't have good odds of working either. So many wand charges actually now that I take a look at it. So blinking out is a temporary solution. Scroll of summoning and then using the detritus to walk through. I mean, bolt of fire unfortunately goes through all of those. So unfortunately I don't actually think that's as much of a solution as I thought. Do I need to quaff potion of resistance? That's an interesting thing that I was not guessing would be the case, but I guess even just gaining some distance here. I could gain distance and then use cancellation to get rid of statue form. Or I guess, no, I don't, oh, right, I can end transformation. Silly old me. But that definitely helps us escape from the fire giant, but not the blade master, who unfortunately is fast. Fast as frick boy. That does reduce our problems at least, right? So let's just get back. Then end transformation takes a turn. Then bring in friends to distract. Bring in friends to distract. Thank you. You are very valuable, friends. And there we go. Now we are at the range. We're no longer in danger of this dang old fire giant. Do I just keep running? Probably should keep running. It's so tempting to turn around and start the fight to the death here, but at the end of the day, should at least wait until I'm reset to full health, right? Which is happening pretty quickly. Now we can go back into statue mode. Keeping an eye on our health, making sure that we don't step below that 75 point. This is why we didn't really want to come down here prior to attaining the resistances that we so desired, but let's block off the entrance to this little vaulty place for now. Anywhere that has a red little scary face, probably not somewhere I am desperate to go for the time being. Okay, and here we go. Slightly more equipped to handle you at least. Can do some toxic vapor stuff. Not too bad. And a much better end to the area. Ooh, 7. Okay, I'm getting ahead of myself. Let's deal 7 silver javelins. I don't think I will use the Atropa darts. I've decided, so let's take those. But I got excited because of ADOM katana. Not quite as good as normal, just because we already have clarity thanks to Ash and Zari. But otherwise, very tempting. I do really enjoy this weapon. Vorpal is nice to not have to worry about resistances any which way. And the +3 13 versus the +1 9 of a normal sword. Pretty solid. This is why I really wanted to get an upgrade to place onto my necklace, because I have far too much stuff in my inventory and would like to alleviate myself of some of those issues. I guess enchant armor can go on the ground for now, since I can't use it on anything that has been enchanted by our Lord and Savior Ash. Here we go, fire giant again. Gonna be scary each and every time. Maybe the shop, I actually didn't look at what type of shop it was. If it's a general store, that'd be nice. Ooh, jewelry shop, even better actually, potentially. Let's not get our hopes up. There is another source of resistance to fire. I guess, so wait, normal RF ring, 375. This fancy one, 510. It's not that much more expensive, but I guess there's no point bringing on a fancy ring, especially since the classic ring of protection from fire is slightly more likely for me to notice in my inventory or be able to easily recognize which of my dang rings I'm trying to switch to. Yeah, I think we'll do it though. Let's get rid of this constant struggle that we're going through. I might even just drop this willpower ring since we don't really need it. Oh wow, wait, I'm at 5 pips even without? Oh, because our natural willpower must have gone up since we fully equipped. Oh, that's silly. Not that I'm complaining. Very sweet. Very happy about that. Also take a quick look. There's at least a lightning rod. Could be more treasure in here too. It's tempting. Very tempting. Yes, we're still not technically ready to fight Mara, even though kind of given up on getting the Phantom Mirror at this point, so maybe we do just head back and face the music there. Alternatively, Elf, I guess. Yeah, I changed my mind. I lied. I think Elf is my favorite go-to location coming up next year. We have a nice solid base of resistances across the board when we go into statue form. It is hard to retreat in statue form, which is something I need to just keep running through my head, remind myself, just to make sure that we don't put ourselves into an inescapable, stupid position. But at the end of the day, we're still in a fairly comfortable spot to go into Elf here. And Elf is very likely to have a lot of the solutions to our problems, or even better solutions than the ones that we've currently managed to find here. Plus, it'll be nice to go somewhere where all of our poison stuff is extremely effective. Perfect. Not too bad here. Immediate haste potion is also, of course, nothing to complain about. And not too shabby. I guess I should probably stay in statue for the most part so that I don't accidentally walk myself into a situation. Okay, so we've used just 2 blinking scrolls this game, but even so, 9 total blinking scrolls is pretty awesome. Definitely more than I would expect to find in my average game. Usually it's like 2, and I'm happy with that. But when handed just infinite numbers of escape options, gets me that much more concerned that I'm gonna die with 5+ blink scrolls in my inventory. So wouldn't that be fitting? Also, after lauding how wonderful it will be to be able to toxify everyone around us, we should make sure to do so. Makes the room slightly more trivial here, and let's see. Ooh, all the artifact weapons are two-handed. Of course. Would expect nothing else from your game. Don't change, DCSS. Never change. Okay, buddy. Let's surround you. High evasion enemies. Pain in the butt in so many regards here. I guess I'm also not in statue form. That would definitely contribute to the amount of damage that we take. So otherwise, we are sitting pretty for the most part. Yeah, let's go this way, where we're expected to fight them here. Perfect. Yes, elementals still being a pain in the butt. Also, against those Zephyrmancers, I gotta be in statue form. Gotta just really cement that fact through me, because that's a crucial aspect to survivability. Lightning damage can just ramp up so quickly. I also feel like I'm being way too stingy with my curse here, because we're not getting better than some of the results that I've turned down up until this point. Guess the only thing we could put this on is the fancy necklace. Oh, we could put it on the resistance to fire ring. Have it be a short-lived curse. No, I probably want to keep my one ring hand free to swap around as per necessity as we continue on here. Yes, let's take a look at our skills before making any decisions. Don't really need any more melee combat skills. Probably a bit redundant at this stage. Cunning? Not too bad. Can always use cunning. It's dodging and stealth, which we already have at least one Pippin, maybe two. But I'm holding out for a hero. One more cycle at least. At least nothing too painful that we're sacrificing in the meantime. It's more so that I would just like that alternative option. Is this Gnoll Fighter? So this was actually Gnoll Wanderer to start off. So we had a bit of a random mix of skills. We've turned ourselves into a bit of a battle mage here. Nice blend of techniques, for the most part at least. Getting a very early Ogleb's Toxic Radiance definitely pushed us a long way into using this as our go-to. Right? Again, doing my usual routine, immediately trying to bring friends into a horrible situation. As the demons just continually pump out more and more baddies. So you're all summoned, right? Guessing most of you by the demon? Indeed you are. So in that case, let us... I think I'm gonna start off with some acid wand shenanigans and see if we can't get some quick work in, and then maybe even switching over to our javelins to finish off the deal. Turns out we might take out all the summons before we even get to taking out the summoner, but whatever works, right? That's the thing. We have smite targeting on poisonous vapors, which for the most part, absolutely incredible, but definitely doesn't quite always fit the bill. But double Mana Viper can keep everyone busy while we explore here. Ooh, and this is interesting, being able to actually just see into the vault and decide if it's worth breaking into. Summonings. Book of Callings. I don't think I need, that's more summoning stuff. Box of Beasts would be nice, for sure. Not strictly necessary. Let's maybe check out what some of this other treasure is, shall we? Poison darts can wait. Anything fancy here? Paralysis? No. Nice. Lightning rod is very much something that I would like. Maybe Wand of Flame can go for now. This is one of the constant problems with Gnolls is inventory management, as you just have far too many things. So I was hoping that worshipping Ash and Zari would absolve us of some of the classic pitfalls, but of course I should never doubt my ability to hoard. I will always find a way, apparently. And once more, I must ask myself, is this worth it? Loves of Dexterity? Nah. Box of Beasts is really all I want out of this room. But I should be able to take it too, so let's call in some assistance. These Mana Vipers crack in here and they will help take care of whoever is front and center at the very least. Oh gosh. Come on, please let the Demonologist through. Yes, there we go. Ideal situation. Well, of course, as part of finding more treasure, we do need to make more inventory room once more. We're pretty much past the point where I'd use Lig, at least as a panic button. Maybe for specific torment threats or something like that. Still nice to have around, if I'm being honest with myself. Curari could get rid of for now. I guess our troll leather armor. Are we ever going to actually switch over? It's taking us far too long to work our way through Ash curses. But you mostly like Ash with Gnolls because of their spell power can feel under-levered normally, in your opinion, especially early. Definitely. And yeah, some very fortunate curses put on my equipment here definitely just got us up and running off the ground. Like, resistance-wise, we've been quite behind all game. But we've had almost no problems dealing with different sections just because we have been kind of keeping ahead of the pace in terms of the spells that we're actually able to cast, which is really nice. Thank you so much, Zenio M, for the follow. I appreciate that a lot. Hope to see you around some more in the future, for sure. And okie dokie. One final look. What do I drop? There's so many temporary things that I don't really need. I guess Autumn Katana. I love you so much, but probably just gonna to put you down. Yeah, you'll have that with Ash and resistances. Definitely makes sense to always be struggling slightly more without the ability to hot swap between things. That is the one reason why I'm keeping my one ring hand open at all times, just for the inevitable swaps. Okay, I might drop my 60 charges of polymorph. For now. I might come back and grab them, but I'm happy to just leave them on the ground for now until we can put some of our temporary or less constantly used scrolls like Amnesia. I don't want to carry around, but I also don't want it being deep in Elven Halls. I prefer it somewhere middle tier. I guess it's not the end of the world, right? Any spells I want to forget right now? Because maybe that would be a safer bet than what I'm currently doing. Call Canine Familiar is a nice, easy 3 spell levels. Yeah, let's do it. Otherwise, I don't even know how much I'll be getting rid of any of these other spells, so I can actually take these polymorph charges back. This amulet distracted me for a little bit as I was trying to formulate that thought. Because, of course, as we're talking about resistances, we have a necklace with pretty nice resistances here. But at the end of the day, our necklace is currently our only real source of willpower. So we're trading out one weakness for another. Not quite my cup of tea, especially since the main struggle that we're having is fire resistance, of which that is no help. So let us instead just continue on, shall we? Hoping that the next Ash boost is going to be one that I'm happy to cement in as our now and forever necklace boost. Also, so many potions of haste just in the last like 5-10 minutes of the run. They've all been coming out of the woodwork for sure. I guess not too much here. I got interested seeing jewelry shop, but unfortunately, nothing that we're in strict need of. Ooh. Hello, friends. Let's immediately poison all of our friendships. Ooh, level 19, love to see it. And not too bad. For the most part, these are fairly quick encounters, or at least relatively simple encounters in terms of just put out all yield AoE and be happy with the results, but I'm trying to prevent myself from falling into a false sense of security and accidentally tabbing myself into a horrifying situation. Wouldn't be the first, and definitely wouldn't be the last either. But okie dokie. Let us start the party here. Okay, I got so panicked there as I accidentally waited a turn instead of stopping my explore and thought that we might have been hit by something. Again, it's just your transformation ending. I know it feels weird. We're used to being a statue all the time, Gnoll model, but these things happen. Okie dokie, Annihilator. This is what I was scared of coming down here originally, just because like a couple of chained crystal spears is absolutely brutal. At least when we're in statue form, over 200 health. Not too shabby. Then I just need to make sure I can take care of some of these buddies. And in fact, yes, definitely summon, even though I am exhibiting the toxic aura. In fact, am I an idiot? Are you guys resistant to poison? Yeah, so dang it, game. Because the warning always came up, I've always been so cautious about my mana vipers, but right, I can just bring them in now. That was a concern for the canine familiar days, not for the current edition of our build here. So I, again, just tab, very much putting myself at risk of falling out of a transformation at a bad moment, but never a doubt in my mind. Can just keep her going. Ooh, finally another brilliance too. Beguiling and melee combat. Nothing but melee combat. Hey there, Ash. Real cool of you. Beguiling, maybe a bit more interesting. Conjurations specifically. But why is it such crap? Why you do this to me? I want to switch out like half my equipment right now. Do I just settle? I don't think I should just settle. Ooh. Guess we have to see what's going on here. +2 helmet, don't need, but ring mix. Giving us our luck, willpower, our negative +2. So this definitely replaces the ring of positive energy. I love the phrasing of that ring so much, but unfortunately, it's got to go. And then helmet is not really better than our current, is it? Not so much. I mean, stealth, not bad, but not that great, especially since this gives us a lot of that elemental firepower in terms of skills that I have been so greatly appreciating thus far in the run. So just keep it simple. Ooh, Buckler of the Turtle Dove. That's a cute one. But again, not something strictly necessary here. I like how my character just didn't bother going into those, because we can see that there is nothing behind the door. That's very funny. Well, let us, while everyone's being poisoned, slowly drag everyone back. And I do mean slowly, since we're a giant statue just dragging our feet across the paved ground of the Elven Halls. And there we go. Eventually this fire elementalist has got to die, right? There we go. Our maniac was really holding on for dear life at the end there. Unfortunately, nothing we're interested in that shop. Interested in, I should say. And is the majority of this floor just the Hall of Blades? Because we have no need to explore said hall. Okie dokie. Definitely been a pretty solid start to Elfure. Let's hope that we can make it last. This is where things can often get a little bit trickier. Maybe bringing in some summons would be prudent, especially against so many spellcasters. Always a little bit late to do so. Very much struggling against these two beside me. I think my character was probably slashing more so at the whatchamacallit, the longsword there, which unfortunately has high evasion, so we were kind of just flailing around incessantly while our Mana Vipers did all the hard work. But what else is new? That's just story of my life, I feel. Not too bad. Okay, stone walls. This means end vault area. I block. Okay, then we don't actually need to carry that around for now, so let's leave it on the floor, but we should finish off the fight before fooling around with Auto Explorer shenanigans. There we go. What's waiting for us? Oh, not too bad. Honestly expected much worse. Especially when the Orc Priest blocks their own summons from coming up to attack us. Doesn't seem like the smartest move. I'll take it, but gotta know that that's not the smartest move. Hey there, bud. And so it continues. Ooh, evocations and beguiling? I think that's about as good as we're gonna get off of you, Ash. Conjurations, again, is pretty nice. And translocations, depending on what spells we find in the future. But evocations, I'm always pretty happy with. And this has been a long time coming. So, let's curse that danged amulet, shall we? And let us, I think, switch out weapon next. Melee and companionship, I'm fine with losing both of those upgrades for now. And then probably switching over to this longsword. The slow effect might be really painful, but +10 int, nothing to sneeze at. Especially, is there anything we're waiting to try and bring down its castability? Kind of Maxwell capacitive coupling, if possible. If we can get to that stage, that might be kind of fun to fool around with. Level 8 spells, though, a little bit out of reach for a 3-rune run with a Gnoll, depending on how things shake out, of course, especially with our next upcoming Ash curses and whatnot. But I think that probably makes the most sense. We could switch over to the Autumn Katana. Just bind it to us for the time being. Guess, is it worth it to have weapon unbanded? I'm trying to think of how many pieces I need in order to get all the advantages of Ash. But regardless... Oh, right, we're getting just AC off of this one. BGLG. Was it like burglary? No, beguiling. Right. Huh. Not the letters that I pulled out of that word in my brain, but that makes sense. Fairly similar in terms of its uses here. Hexes and translocations. I'd definitely also be totally fine with labeling as burglary. But it's funny, I kind of forgot that this was our ring that's attached to us. This would probably be better, no? I guess debatable in some extent or to some degree here. Is it time to get rid of my pagnostic negligence? I think it might be. Weapon is very tempting, but we at least can make it by just fine on our spells for now. And that can be kind of a last form thing. As I'm racked with indecision here. In a moment that it doesn't even really matter too much, let us, regardless, prompt shatter these chains, because it is time to break the chain. And it's probably between pagnostic negligence and Ashinzari's vision. The vision definitely isn't doing quite as well as it used to. And in fact, if we take a look, base damage of 8. So base damage doesn't go up too much, switching over to the longsword. The enchantment is definitely a lot better. Int, absolutely incredible. We don't really need AC plus 4 isn't making or breaking our run anymore. So let's do it. Curse Ring of Pagnostic Negligence. Thank you for your service. Absolutely destroyed that son of a gun. This brings us up to full resistance to negative energy, which, again, always important. You gotta stay positive in life. Very critical. So, let's do so. And I really don't mind using the poison weapon for the time being, I guess, just because a lot of the stuff that we're fighting is still susceptible to poison, or at least not quite as resistant as some of the later buddies. Because even though the brand goes through poison resistance, it's still... Poison can kind of drop off in efficacy, all things considered, just if it's not dealing quite enough damage to really be worth your while. You're a fan of the slow ego, so it's not a bad choice to get rid of that sword. Yeah, no, I'm not as likely to use it as I thought I was on first getting it. I mean, the plus 10 intelligence. I don't know, it's so tempting, but I know that that slow is going to end up making me just want to constantly kick myself for the mistakes made in previous iterations. Ah, hello, bye Suzanne. Nice to see you here, buddy. You meant you're not a fan of the slow ego? Yeah, sorry, I definitely... That's weird. I think I even read it out loud the way you had it written, but my brain definitely parsed it as not a fan, because I totally got what you meant. And hey, Heffy, how's it going? Hope you're having a good one. Nice to see ya. Okie dokie. What do we do about you, by Suzanne? Shouldn't be too tough to deal with. Hydras at least aren't at the end of the world. If we can get our Mana Vipers up close and personal, they'll take care of a lot of potential issues here. 12-headed hydras. Wow. Just jumps right to the serious business, hey? I guess a hallway isn't too bad for us. I should have a mana viper ready for my retreat. That way we can just exchange places with them and get the heck out of there if things start going poorly. Then, what can we do? Oh, I guess goes against me summoning that thing, wasting the health or the mana points, because I immediately see and remember for the first time since I memorized it that we have a radiate here, and that would be pretty nice. I was originally coming in here to just start lobbing iron shots. I guess I could do iron shot for the time being, even just see how a couple of them go, and then save a radiate for when she goes full scary mode. There she is. I guess it would have made sense to maybe stack some poison on with my mace before letting her go full scary mode, but all works out. At least all of her hydras desummon as soon as we change her over, and then just irradiate her to death. Perfect. Unfortunately, no scales or armors. Yeah, kill by Suzanne and get some nice scales from her. Unfortunately, not today. But that is all fine and dandy still.